it's much heavier to try to do that. So a lot of material today. We're going to try to get through this a little bit quickly for you guys. But we'll see what we can do. There's a few slides left. Bear with us. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're getting some good use. One thing that can be really powerful, again, staying away from price. I hate solving problems with price, is the timing of the offer. Do you want to go early and go really strong? Or do you want to wait and go at offer review? Or do you want to wait even longer and see if the property survives and maybe the seller starts to get a little bit desperate? I look at which one to do, very case specific, right? Of the couple of the clients that I've been talking about earlier, we have tried multiple strategies. Sometimes we wait for offer review. Sometimes we wait and see if it survives offer review because they don't like the house enough to want to get competitive. They like it enough if they can get a deal, but they don't want to get in a competitive situation. So they don't write to see if it passes that deadline and then they can go in one-on-one. We also have done a deal. Actually, one of the deals that we just won was we went in early. The house came on like Wednesday night or Thursday, and we wrote an offer on Friday. Offer review wasn't until Tuesday, but we still put the offer together and went at it pretty aggressively and ended up winning. So you can focus on stacking the deck. How can you use the right combination of cash and terms to create a really compelling offer that the seller's going to have a hard time saying no to and that the agent should be excited about? Whenever possible, do your due diligence up front. If something comes on Wednesday and you know you've got offer review next Tuesday, start doing your due diligence, the stuff that you can do. If you want to get an inspection, if they had an inspection, get it and go look at the house and look at the inspection items. The more of that you can do before you submit your offer, the cleaner the offer you can submit. You can do your own pre-inspection. If the seller has an inspection, I'll usually just encourage people to go that way, but you can usually do your own inspection in advance of writing an offer. The pro to that is you can be very confident about what's going on in the house and that it was your people that did it. There's no potential distress or anything that the homeowner's putting on the inspectors. There's no relationship where the inspectors may be willing to be out of integrity. So it can be good. Usually I just go with the one that was provided if they have it, and then use my experience, my eyes and ears to give the clients some info around it. The downside is if you're doing an inspection, they can be 500 to 900 bucks pretty easily if you include a sewer scope. They can't get even further north of that on really big properties. The risk to getting your own inspection in advance, let's say it's 800 bucks. You do the inspection, you find something out that you don't like before you have the property and you walk away. Well, you just wasted $800. You do the inspection, you pay for it, you go in and offer and you don't get the house. Well, you wasted the $800. So you want to be careful. At least I suggest that people are careful with pre-inspections. Because they can also add up, right? 10 pre-inspections. If you got to go right on 10 places, which isn't out of the world in this market, and you did your own pre-inspection on every one of them, that's $8,000 in pre-inspections with no properties to show for it until you get mutual on something. So that's another con for those. Again, we talked a little bit about releasing the earnest money to the seller earlier. That can be another powerful one, but it also can be fairly high risk. When it comes to competing creatively, and especially around competitive offers, you really want to manage your emotions. Be prepared. Understand when you're signing the offer, especially the first time when you're in the shopping period, the first time you're going through the offer and signing it, it's a nerve-wracking thing. Then it gets submitted to the other agent. Then you got to sit and wait and hear, and it's tough. And sometimes you're going to hear a no, and that sucks. But just manage your emotions. Understand that it's part of the process for almost everybody. And then prepare for, but don't expect a counter offer, especially if there's an offer review or potential multiple offer situation. They may counter you back and they may tell you, hey, here's where you need to be, update your offer. They may talk your agent through what they want to do, and then you redo the offer. They may say a blind, hey, submit with highest and best. You're in the top 3. Come back with your highest and best, and we're going to pick one of them. They may do all those things, but they don't have to do any of those things. And I had a property again in March that we went after, and the buyer was pretty new in the process, didn't want to get too caught up in things. They hadn't done a lot of the work that we suggest around setting the standards, setting the parameters, being ready to go, when you're not in the heat of the moment. So we got ready to make an offer. They backed off by 25,000 from what we had agreed to. We agreed at the property what we thought it was going to be. After a little time to think about it, they backed off by $25,000, about 3% in this price range, about $900,000 property. We ended up not getting the property, but would have got it had we gone 3% higher. Like we would have had it in that instance. The agents don't have to give you a call to give you a chance to sweeten your offer. It's great when they do. I think it's in the best interest of their client, but not all of them do it. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they're just typical real estate agents. But be prepared to get a counter. Be prepared to relook at it, but don't expect a counter offer because it may not come. Then try to avoid unguaranteed bumping. I don't like being leveraged, which ties into my deadly allergy. Offer shopping. I don't like submitting offers and then getting worked against somebody else based on my offer. So the unguaranteed bumping is a phrase that speaks to, okay, I submit an offer and somebody else submits an offer and we're both really close. Maybe I'm winning a little bit. Now the agent's going to take my winning offer and go to the other offer and say, hey, we got another offer. It's a little better than yours. What can you do to sweeten it up? Let's say I was winning by 25,000. And they might even float out like, hey, if you could come back at 40, 50 grand higher, I think you got the deal. That agent resubmits at 50 grand higher. The agent gets it. They call me back. Hey, we got another offer in. You've got to be about 75 grand higher than where you are right now to get the deal. I try to stay out of those situations. There's a process that we can go through to avoid that. Most of the time, we're very effective with it. But I do that because I'm so allergic to getting my offer shopped and just being leveraged for somebody else to get the deal. And then my clients helping the seller get a higher price, but my clients don't get the benefit of having the house. So I take that into consideration when offering. You want to be creative and see what you can do, but you don't want to be overly cute. Don't cute yourself out of a deal. Try to just figure out what the seller's looking for, what they want, what's important to them, and then deliver that. Don't be overly complex. And don't be too much headache, right? Simple sells. If you can keep it as simple as clean as possible, it's easy for them to understand and get comfortable with. When you get really cute and get really exotic, it can intimidate people. They can not want to do it, and it can be too much for them. If you have a seller who's down for that, you can have a lot of fun, but it's not always the case. And then be thinking outside of the box on different things that you can do to try to win the offer, right? Are there things that you can find out about the client that may be important to them? Maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's tickets to a game, maybe it's some kind of experience of shows coming into town. Depending on what they're into, you may be able to include that, right? I have a friend who has really good Kraken tickets, the hockey team here, and they're right on the glass, like right on the glass. And I know I can buy some tickets from him because he's got season tickets. I can buy them to give away to clients. So I know I could get those tickets. I know the price for those tickets, but my price for those tickets and like $100 or $200 gift card to get some beverages or food at the game might be less than the value that I could get if it was a tie offer, right? If we both came in at the same price, same closing day, same everything, but I was throwing in some tickets, they're probably going to take my offer. And I think it just shows good thinking and a willingness to do the deal. Definitely do not cute yourself out of a deal. People often talk themselves out of deals. You want to be careful with that. Don't get too cute. Watch for your agent trying to get too cute. If you want the house, then make sure they protect that and try to get the house.